2 years ago, I thought I had van life figured out before I even started. I had the perfect setup planned. The gear, the organization, I was ready to hit the road. But here's what no one tells you. You're never actually ready. Not really. Let me explain. The true essence of van life is in the discovery, in learning by fully living and experiencing it. Van life is a journey of learning. You figure out the gaps in your setup when sweating through 100-degree heat because you underestimated the power of the sun. You find out which storage solutions work after spending months of dealing with clutter everywhere. Everything has been trial and error for me, but every problem I've solved has made my van feel more like home. Hi, I'm Adam, and this is my van, Vincent Van Gogh. In this video, I want to take you through every major upgrade I recently made. Things that completely changed how I travel and live in this van. Each of these upgrades was a solution to a real problem. And if you're considering van life for yourself, this video will save you months of frustration. Let's get started. This mirror that I fixed is a perfect example of how van life encourages you to take matters into your own hands. When my side mirror here got smashed by a drunk driver on the 4th of July at Hermosa Beach, I did what most people would do. I went through my insurance, and I waited and waited and waited until about a week ago. What should have been a simple fix turned into an endless loop of paperwork, wrong authorizations, and missed calls. I had to navigate through a maze of insurance policies. After literally 8 months of frustration, I decided to take matters into my own hands if I wanted to get any of this resolved. So I found the part online, which was a $75 mirror, and I repaired it with a $30 repair kit from Walmart. The mirror arrived, I pulled out my small toolkit, and with about 45 minutes of work and 3 screws later, I had a brand new mirror. And it was amazing that it only took that long and cost that much to fix myself. They were gonna charge me upwards of $500 to fix this mirror. It felt amazing when I finally was able to adjust the mirror and see a clear reflection. Before this permanent fix, my solution was a $30 shower mirror and some electrical tape at Target. It just felt amazing because I was able to fix it myself. I didn't have to rely on anyone else. The sense of accomplishment and independence was overwhelming. But that's the beauty of van life. The more that you're able to solve problems independently, the less dependent you become. And when you're on the road, that independence is everything. It allows you to recover from all kinds of mistakes. And with that, let me share with you another aspect of van life that can make or break your experience: managing the heat. If you don't address this issue early on, your dream of van life can become a nightmare. The biggest factor that affects your comfort level in a van is temperature control. I didn't think much about it when I first started van life. I had this basic blackout curtain, and I assumed that I could just park in the shade whenever possible. However, the reality is you don't always have that option. Sometimes you find yourself parked in full sunlight for hours. Without proper sun protection, the heat becomes unbearable, and the van heats up rapidly. I learned this firsthand during a visit to the extreme summer heat of Las Vegas. But everything changed when I discovered the power of custom-fit magnetic sunshades. These things are a game changer. These sunshades reflect heat away, keeping my van much cooler. Additionally, they also help trap heat inside during the winter, reducing my reliance on the heater and makes my space warmer. Another advantage of these sunshades is their practicality. I can attach them in seconds, instantly transforming my van into a private, comfortable haven no matter where I am. They also stow away easy, and I can tuck them away in a corner when I don't need them. Privacy and comfort are essential when you're on the road, and it just feels safer when people can't peek inside your van. You'd be surprised at how nosy some people can be, especially in town and in more populated areas. I remember I would park in Santa Barbara for the day, and people would just come right up and try to look in all the time. It was really violating after a while. These shades enhance your comfort and security, but also deter potential opportunistic break-ins. Looking back, I can't help but wish that I had known about these amazing sunshades from the very beginning. They would have saved me from countless miserable, hot, and sweaty days. However, heat and cold aren't the only things that could damage your van. Your interior can suffer also if you don't take steps to protect it. One thing that I didn't think about when I started van life was just how fast things wear out. In a house, your seats don't really take damage. I spend hours in this driver's seat. Whether I'm parked working or on a long drive, this space feels like my second home. Over time, I've noticed the wear and tear, condensation on the seat, sun damage on the dashboard, and my steering wheel becoming smoother and harder to grip, especially during long periods of driving. That's when I realized if I want this van to last, I need to start protecting it now. One of the first upgrades I made to the van was the addition of these custom seat covers. This wasn't just to enhance the van's appearance, but to also provide protection for the original seats against moisture, spills, and everyday wear and tear. I didn't expect condensation when I moved into my van. Even with excellent ventilation, moisture can accumulate in the van, especially during sleep. This moisture can seep into the seats and potentially lead to the growth of mold. With these seat covers, I no longer have to worry about protecting my original seats. They create a barrier that keeps them dry, clean, and safe. And honestly, they look and feel much better too. It's one of those upgrades that you don't think you need until you get it. Then you wonder why you didn't do it sooner. Next up was the dashboard protector. I initially got it because I liked how it made everything look more polished. But I quickly realized it does far more than that. The sun is brutal on dashboards. Heat and ultraviolet rays can cause cracks, fading, and eventually warping over time. This cover acts like sunscreen for my van, keeping it cool, reducing glare, and preventing damage before it starts. The most significant difference I've noticed is less glare. Before I had this installed, during long drives, the light would just bounce off my dashboard right into my eyes, making it harder to see. After I installed this dashboard protector, the strain on my eyes is gone. Finally, there's my steering wheel, the one thing that I touch every day. When I first got this van, the wheel was fine. However, after 2 years of driving every day in this van, I've noticed that the material has started to wear down. It just became smoother and more difficult to grip over longer periods of time. That's when I installed this cover. It may seem like a small change, but the difference is enormous. Now I have a better grip and it's much more comfortable. All these upgrades, the seat covers, the dashboard protector, and the steering wheel cover all serve the same purpose. They keep my van in good shape for the long haul and my driving experience comfortable. In van life, you can't really replace your vehicle every few years. At least, I can't right now. You have to protect what you have because the better that you take care of your van, the more that your van will be there for you. It's not just about keeping everything looking nice. It's about making sure that this space feels comfortable, functional, and ready for whatever comes next. Because this isn't just my van, it's my home. One of the most underrated challenges of van life is accessibility. You have drawers, cabinets, and everything that you need to organize a space in a house. But in a van, everything is packed into this tiny space. Initially, I thought to keep my daily use items in a backpack. However, rummaging around through a backpack multiple times a day quickly becomes a frustrating experience. And there's other stuff I'd rather use it for. You waste time looking for things, lose efficiency, and worst of all, it makes the van feel a lot more messy than it actually is. And when you're in a small space like this, mess equals stress. I realized that I needed a solution. I set out to find a way to keep my daily essentials within arm's reach without cluttering up my van. This decision was a game changer for me, and it could be for you too. That's why I installed seat pocket cover organizers. They attach to the backs of my seats and allow me to quickly access all my essentials quickly without having to dig around. Now I can keep my flashlight, notebooks, and other small essentials all within arm's reach. When I need something, I know exactly where it is. I don't have to get up or move things around. It's just there. I know it might seem like a small change, but it has significantly improved my whole experience of living in this van. Instead of constantly searching for my things, I have a designated space for everything. And this sense of control that I have now has made a substantial difference in my van life. When your van stays cleaner, you stay more organized. And when you stay more organized, life just gets easier. And speaking of more organization, I have to show you what I installed to keep even more things off the floor, and that's D-rings and magnetic hooks. One of the biggest challenges in van life is storage. No matter how much space you have, it's never enough, unless you start thinking vertically. At first I was considering installing some shelving in here, but then I realized with how much space I have in reality, it just didn't make sense. It's going to take up too much space and it's going to cost a lot. And in a van, every inch matters. These magnetic hooks were an absolute game changer. With a weight capacity of up to 40 pounds pulling down vertically, this little hook can hold a variety of different items. I hang all kinds of things on this little hook, from kitchen gear to towels to little trash bags, and even my little camping sack, which has my camping stove and other supplies in it. I can just attach it right here, attaches vertically, put it right on the hook, and it just hangs there. It's amazing. It's really surprising how strong it is with how small that little hook is. But magnetic hooks are your friend. Their versatility is unmatched, making them an essential part of my van storage solution. And what's even better is no drilling is needed. These hooks are robust enough to support all of my essentials, and they leave no marks on the van. If I ever need to reorganize, I simply move them. I can put it here on the ceiling if I want. You can put it at an angle on like a slightly flat surface, but the way that these hooks work, the best way to do it is if it's flat with a surface. If there's any kind of curve, the weight capacity is going to be a lot less, so you want to have as flat of a surface as possible. You could make it work on something like this. Since it's at an angle, the weight capacity will be severely diminished. This modular setup is incredibly adaptable. It ensures that my storage solution always meets my needs. Then I added D-rings along the whole wooden perimeter of my van. These let me attach storage bags, lighting, and even heavier gear. Now I can keep things organized off the floor and within easy reach. Both of these things have made my van feel less cluttered and more spacious. It makes a huge difference when you're living in a small space like this. While keeping things off the floor is a great start, sometimes you will simply run out of space. That's when I realized the importance of creating new storage space where there wasn't any before. This next upgrade was all about thinking outside the box while maximizing space, but not it being a permanent solution, something that can be modular and flexible when I need it, but then I could take it away when I don't. And the reason why I thought of this is because in the future I do plan to have people come visit me on the road, and I know they're gonna have their stuff, I'm gonna have my stuff, so I wanted to create a little bit of overflow storage space just in case something like that were to happen. When you live in a van, space runs out quickly. No matter how well that you think that you've organized things, it only takes one trip to make you realize that there's never enough room. At first I thought I had a sound system. I had storage bins under my bed and there were designated spots for all of my gear, but I would still find stuff just sitting on the floor every time I packed up. The biggest offenders are jackets, blankets, and extra layers. I use these items often, especially when the temperature drops at night, but they're also the bulkiest items in my van. And when I have guests visiting, it's even harder to organize. Suddenly the floor becomes this landmine field of jackets, backpacks, and extra gear just thrown everywhere. I knew that I needed to find a solution that was compact and I could stow away when I didn't need it, but when I did need it, I could bring it out and it wouldn't take up that much space. That's when I discovered this ceiling storage net. This net attaches right to the ceiling. It utilizes the empty space above me instead of occupying more floor space. It's double netted, so it can hold smaller items, but my intention for this was to hold bulky items like jackets, blankets, and other clothing items like that. And with this, whenever I have visitors, everything can be stowed above, off the floor, and away, and in a place where you can easily find it, not just shoved in some corner. The best part about this is I can see everything that I've stored. Little changes like this make van life easier and more comfortable. When you free up that physical space, you also in effect free up that mental space. This makes the journey so much better. Knowing where everything is and not having to worry about things shifting during your drive just gives me peace of mind. Once I figured out my storage, the next step was figuring out how to secure all the heavy stuff down. Because when you're driving in a van for long periods of time, things like to shift and move around. If you've ever driven in a van, you know exactly what this moment feels like. You're cruising along enjoying your drive and your day, and then you hit a pothole and suddenly something crashes to the floor behind you. You ignore it thinking, okay, hopefully nothing broke. But deep down, you know that the moment that you park, you're gonna have to get up and clean the mess. For the longest time, I just dealt with a problem like this, hoping that nothing would just fall and break. Whenever something fell, I would pick it up, reorganize, and tell myself, next time, I'll be more careful about packing things. But guess what? That next time never came. I just kept doing the same thing. Got to the point where I started anticipating crashes before they happened. I would hit a bump and think, yep, there goes my backpack again. But that's when it hit me. It wasn't just an inconvenience, it's also a safety issue if you don't have things secured. When you're driving, you need to be able to focus on the road and not have to worry about whether or not your water container is going to be unsecured and floor your gas pedal. So I decided to fix this issue once and for all. Unlike regular bungee cords, which can stretch too much and still allow things to move around, these flat adjustable cords properly stay tight and secure items. It means my backpacks, water containers, and even some heavier gear stay precisely where I put them, no matter how rough the road is. Now with this, I don't even think about what's happening in the back when I hit a pothole because nothing moves. When you eliminate tiny little frustrations like things constantly falling, you can enjoy the freedom of the road even more. And speaking of safety, my last upgrade has given me total peace of mind. One of the main reasons why I chose this van setup was for privacy and stealth. The lack of windows in the back means no one can see inside. This is perfect for when I park overnight in different locations. I feel like it gives me a real sense of security. However, the trade-off is I can't see anything behind me. For the longest time, I just dealt with it. I relied on my side mirrors and backed up slowly, but it just felt like I was still guessing. And when you're constantly doing that, close calls happen. I can't tell you how many times I would be backing up into a spot, I would get out and look, and I was mere inches away from hitting something. That's not a fun feeling to have. Every time I parked, I felt so stressed and unsure if I gave myself enough clearance. Backing up during the day is one thing. At least I could open the door, turn around, and then see what was behind me. But at night, it's pure guesswork. I finally got tired of all the uncertainty and close calls, so I came up with a solution. This backup camera is a total game changer. It's completely wireless, which means no drilling or complicated wiring. It attaches magnetically to the back of the van, and the feed shows up directly to my phone. The installation is so simple, you just stick it on the van, it's a breeze. But be careful because the strength of these magnets are really strong and they almost pinch my fingers. I'm not worried about the camera falling off. It's so strong and really attached on there. It's awesome because it's solar powered and it's self-sustaining. I haven't had to charge it since I've gotten out of the box. The first time I used it, I laughed because I've never been able to see the back of my van so clearly. I feel like I can back up confidently now because I can see what's behind me. It gives me a sense of control that I never had before. My anxiety is gone and my confidence for backing up is much higher now. It doesn't matter if I'm in a crowded city or if I go out into the wilderness where there's no one, I can park and I don't have to worry about anything. If you live in a van or just travel part-time, I don't think it's just a convenience. It's an absolute necessity for safety to see what's behind you. And I think for safety, that's one of the best upgrades that you can make. When I started my van life journey 2 years ago, I believed that I had everything figured out. I thought I knew exactly what I needed, how I would live, and how this van would serve me. However, I learned that van life isn't about achieving perfection from day one. It's about evolving with the journey. It involves adapting, problem solving, and making small improvements that can help elevate your experience. It's about creating a home and a life that truly works for you. This is the space that I built with my own 2 hands. It's been shaped by my experiences and every lesson that I've learned. When people ask me, what's the best part of van life? I never say the travel. I never say it's the places that I've been. For me, the best part of van life is about the growth. I think it's about the person that you become along the way. Van life teaches you about self-sufficiency. It's a journey about problem solving and embracing discomfort. Knowing in the back of your mind that every challenge makes you stronger and more capable. And I think this empowerment is the true essence of van life. If you're watching this and thinking about starting your own journey, whether it's van life, travel, or if it's just even making small changes in your own life, just know that you don't have to have everything figured out right now. Because the best lessons, upgrades, and experiences come from the journey itself. I'm really excited for the spring and summer and what's coming next. Every mile I drive and every new place that I explore, this van is ready for it. And I want to hear from you. If you could add one upgrade to your van or travel setup, what would it be? Let me know down in the comments below and I'll engage with you there. I would love to hear your ideas. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more van life, outdoor, and travel content. And before you go, you should check out this next video over here so you can find out where to park your van and not get bothered. I'll see you over there.